Hi everyone, Max here from Evidence-Based Football Manager. Last time I told you that I will be retiring from the Football Manager YouTube scene, so I thought I would make a separate video to wrap everything up and say a proper goodbye to everyone. So, two big reasons why I've decided to step down. Firstly, it does take a lot of time to make all these videos, and it's starting to affect my other commitments in life. I never realized before I started making all these YouTube videos, but there's actually a lot of background work that goes into making one of these videos. I say I would spend about anywhere between 10 to 15 hours per week for the past 3 years to make all the videos and run the channel. And that's not even including the amount of time it takes to run all the trials that are required for my experiments. I use a macro program to automate all my trials, and sometimes I have to let my desktop run all night while I'm sleeping if I need to gather a large sample size. But yeah, even if I don't include the amount of time it takes to run all those trials, I would still spend at least 10 hours per week to make all these videos. And I do everything by myself. I know some content creators, they hire like assistants and video editors to help distribute the load, but I don't do that. I did everything by myself. So yeah, it is a pretty time consuming process. Actually, you know what? I have taken some short videos that showcase how I actually conduct my trials using a macro program. I've made two videos. The first one shows you how a single match in Football Manager is repeated using a macro program. And the second video shows you how all the data that's contained in screenshots are transferred into an Excel file. So hopefully those two videos, which they will give you a rough idea on how I actually conduct my Football Manager experiments. So enjoy. So I'm just going to turn that on. So this is the desktop that I use for my Football Manager experiments. This desktop has done so much work for the Football Manager community for the past few years. It's been a very loyal servant for me. So I'll show you. Everything's automated. I use a macro program to do my Football Manager experiments. So, I'm not touching my mouse. I'm not touching my keyboard. And it just does everything by itself. I don't know if you can see, but I'll see if I can zoom in a bit. Yeah, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. So my desktop has been running all night to do these trials. At the moment, it's doing some experiments regarding the important matches attribute, which I will be presenting in the next video. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing. You know what? I'm just gonna show you the macro program that I use. Yeah, so that's the macro program that I use for all my experiments. You can see it's done 928 trials so far out of 1,000. So yeah, my desktop has been doing an all-nighter, and I reckon it'll need like 1 more hour, and yeah, all 1,000 trials will be done in about an hour. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it do its thing so I can explain to you what's going on. Yeah, it's making the manager go on a holiday. So now the game's just simulating for 1 day. Right. Yeah, so you can see there are two managers in this save file, one in charge of Manchester United, one in charge of Manchester City. And yeah, it's going to the results, and it took a screenshot of that, right? And that's the end of the cycle. So now it's going to load the save file again, and it'll just keep repeating the same cycle over and over again, like 1,000 times. Yeah, so in about an hour, everything will be done, and I will be conducting some data analysis based on that, so that I can present the results in my video. Hi everyone, Max here. So this is my workplace. This is a dental clinic that I work at. So I'll just give you guys a quick tour. Yeah, so this is the dental room where I work at most of the time. And I'll just show you what I'm doing. So I brought my laptop to work today. So it's actually running some experiments at the moment. So this is my poor laptop. It's just working away even as I'm working. I'll just make that a bit brighter. So what it's doing now is
it's trying to transfer the info from all these screenshots onto an Excel file. So last night I did 1,000 trials, and so I've got 1,000 screenshots. And obviously the results of those screenshots have to be transferred into an Excel file. So I am using a macro program to do all this. So I'm not touching the laptop at the moment, and it's just it's using a text capturing program to capture the score from the screenshot, and then it will paste that data into an Excel file. So it there's 1,000 screenshots that need to be transferred into an Excel file. So I started work at 9 a.m. this morning, and it's up to like 400 trials so far. So probably about like 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. I reckon it'll be done. Yeah, which is fine. So sometimes I bring my laptop to work. I just let it run in the background while I'm working, while I'm seeing my patients. And yeah, usually by the time I come back from my lunch break, like everything will be done, and I'll just have to take it home and do some data analysis based on that. Yeah, so this is what I have to do sometimes, because obviously, transferring, doing the same task for like 1,000 times over and over again, it will just be too much work for me to do manually. So I do need to rely on the macro program to certain tasks. Yeah, so this is usually how I do things. I'll just quickly show you guys the weather today. I live in Melbourne, and today is the 8th of April, so it's autumn now, and the weather's really beautiful today. So I'll just show you guys the weather today. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day. All right, guys. That's it for now. I'll see you guys on the channel.
The second reason I decided to step down is because I actually don't enjoy playing Football Manager as much as I used to. It's really heartbreaking for me to say this, because obviously I'm a massive fan of Football Manager. It's just a franchise that I love and respect so much, so deeply. But yeah, I just recently came to a realization that I'm just not getting too much joy anymore when I play Football Manager. This could be because the game does reuse the same core formula over and over again every year, and I don't blame the game for that. Football Manager is based on the sport of football, so of course there's going to be a limit on how much the developers can change the core formula of the game on an annual basis. So I definitely don't blame the developers for reusing the same formula every year. But yeah, it does unfortunately mean that you can play Football Manager so much until your brain just doesn't get the same amount of joy from playing the game anymore. So yeah, if I'm not enjoying Football Manager as much as I used to, then I really don't think it's appropriate for me to continue making content based on Football Manager. I think as a content creator, you almost owe it to your audience that you're passionate about the game that you're making contents on. Because if you're not 100% committed and 100% passionate about the game, then I reckon it'll show in the quality of your videos one way or another. Maybe in the way that you speak in your videos, or maybe the quality of the video will go down in general. So yeah, since I'm not as passionate about Football Manager as I used to be, I really think it's appropriate that I step down from the stage. The developers have announced that FM25 is going to be a complete overhaul of the game, so I won't completely rule out the possibility of me making a return in the future to make videos based on FM25. What I will have to do is I'll wait for FM25 to come out. I'll see what it's like, and if it really revolutionizes the core formula of the game in a way that rekindles my passion for the game, then I might make a return in the future. But no promises at this point. In case this is the last time you're seeing me, I would like to say a massive, massive thank you to everyone who's been following my channel. I really appreciate every comment, every like, every views, and every subscription. I feel really bad because I get requests to test certain topics in Football Manager all the time, and I always reply to your comment by saying things like, "Oh, Yeah, it's on my list of things to do. Yeah, that's a good topic. I'll get onto it. I would always make all these promises, and yeah, unfortunately, I will have to break a lot of those promises. But I guess I have to stop somewhere because there's always going to be more things to test. Like every time I upload a new video, there's going to be like 10 new testing requests in the comment section. So, and I can't go on forever. So, unfortunately, I do have to draw a line somewhere. I would also like to say thank you to various people who have helped me along the way to become a content creator. When I first started doing these Football Manager research, I felt alone. But people from the Football Manager community reached out to me in various ways, either through Discord or by email, and they all helped me in various ways. I can't name all of you individually here, but yeah, thank you for all your help and all your support. Whatever I've done on this channel, I couldn't have done it without the help of the wider Football Manager community. All right, people, it's FAQ time. Do I come from a data analyst background? No, I'm a dentist. That's my job. In dentistry and medicine, there's this concept called evidence-based medicine, which basically means that you should only do something to a patient if there is evidence of benefit. You can't perform a dental procedure on a patient or prescribe any medications to a patient just because you think they're going to work. There has to be evidence of proven benefit before you do anything to a patient. Hence the name of this channel, Evidence-Based Football Manager. You should only make a choice to do something in Football Manager if there is evidence that it works. What's your favorite save in Football Manager? So every year when they release the beta version of the game, I like to play a few seasons as Manchester United, which is a team that I personally support. I just like to play very casually as Manchester United whenever they release the beta version of the game, just to get a feel for the new game. And when they release the full version of the game, I usually like to play a long save. So what I do is I usually choose one of the lower table teams like Leeds United or Leicester City, and then I try to slowly build up those teams over many, many years. There's usually Steam achievements in Football Manager that you can get if you manage the same club for like 10 or 20 seasons. So I usually try to go for those. But to be honest, I couldn't play Football Manager with my personal saves too much this year because most of my playtime this year was spent doing my Football Manager research. Is there a way to get in touch with you privately? My Discord ID is MaxEBFM. You can add me if you want on Discord, and yeah, you can feel free to send me a message. But I am horrible at checking my Discord, so I might not reply to your messages straight away. Will there be a training schedule released for FM24? No. I did produce my own training schedules for FM22 and FM23, but not this year. And this is because all the tests that I had to do to make the training schedules for FM22 and FM23 were conducted using FM22 and FM23. And I cannot guarantee that those test results are valid in FM24. I know Football Manager changes very little every year, so the chances are that the training schedule for FM23 will work just fine in FM24, but there's no evidence for that, right? Which is why I've decided not to publish a separate training schedule for FM24. What changes do you want to see in FM25? More transparency and more clarity in the game mechanics. There's a famous game design theory, which is that fun in a video game is the total sum of all meaningful choices that players make while they play the game, which I think is unfortunately a little bit lacking in Football Manager at the moment. I think the biggest problem with Football Manager for the past few years is that when you play the game, there are heaps of choices that are presented to the player on the screen, but it's hard to tell which one of those choices actually lead to meaningful outcomes. And since the game doesn't reveal to you anything that happens under the hood, it's difficult for us players to determine what choices are actually having an impact on our gameplay in the way that we want. I reckon in games like Football Manager, the ability to min-max the save is what makes or breaks the gaming experience. But if everything is so opaque, then min-max is just not possible. which I reckon is compromising the Football Manager experience at the moment. Look, the developers have told us that FM25 is going to be a complete overhaul, so let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see how the new game comes out, and hopefully the game mechanics in FM25 won't be as opaque as it has been for the past few years. For the past 3 years, as a Football Manager content creator, I did my best to test the various game features so that my findings could help foster a style of gameplay that's based on evidence and not just based on anecdotes and hearsay. If, because of my efforts for the past 3 years, the Football Manager community has come to appreciate the value of evidence and transparency in the Football Manager game mechanics at least a little bit more, then I have achieved what I have set out to achieve, and it means that I can step off the stage with a peace of mind. Alright, guys, I guess that's it. Take care, be nice to each other, and yeah, this is Max from Evidence Based Football Manager, signing out.